Welcome to Successful Living with Bill Napick. Every week we talk about success and everything that goes along with it. You'll learn the principles of success, how to achieve success, and learn to overcome challenges that may be getting in the way of success in your life. You'll hear from Bill Napick, a radio personality and business development expert, along with insight from special guests. If you're ready to find your path to success or take the success you're enjoying to the next level, stay tuned. Successful Living with Bill Napick is on right now.
And welcome to the show, Successful Living with Bill Napick. And today, Successful Living once again with the general manager of the Houston Palm, Leslie Barkley. We are on location in our favorite booth. Leslie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bill. I always appreciate being on it. Thank you.
It's super fun all the time, and people love to hear about food. They love to hear about what's going on at the Palm, and especially when you share success tips. So let's tell people, what's the latest here at the Palm?
The latest is actually very exciting. We have a new management team with me. I have two incredible people that have joined me just within the last couple months. I have been here now for over a year. I came from other Palm restaurants and have the pleasure of being in Palm Tree, Houston. And of course, we always talk about how much I love the weather, being from the Northeast. I'm happy to be here. And now I have a wonderful assistant general manager named Brian Cavill, and those who haven't met him need to come in and do that. He's a 20-year restaurant professional who is born and raised in Texas City, in the Houston area. He lives in Houston, and he knows so many people, and he's probably the most warm and inviting person I have met. And what restaurant knowledge this man has. So very excited about him. And then many of you have met, because she's been with us since December now, Stephanie Kessler. Stephanie is over 10-year Palm veteran and came from the San Antonio location of the Palm. She's lived in many places in the United States. So she has this, vigor and excitement about everything Palm, restaurant, and people. I mean, if you walk into the room and she's there, there's just nothing but energy. So very excited about my incredible restaurant team. So if you haven't met them yet, come on in and do so.
You really do have a tremendous team. And of course, Stephanie's been on the show several times. In addition, you bring up the idea that, and that's one of the things I know as I used to travel, that's one of the things I loved about the Palm, is that you do have many locations. And you have that, it helps your customers too, because you get experience from people that are working at or have worked at the Palm in different locations. So they bring that whole knowledge and the things they learn about serving and about food. So it just really broadens it to be a great experience for anyone, whether they're here in Houston at the Palm, perhaps in the table we're in our favorite booth, or anywhere else, San Antonio, New York City, whatever. That is a great thing and a great benefit you bring to each and every customer.
So the Palm does have about 21 locations across the United States in major cities. When people travel for business, it's the place they can go and they can depend on it. Also, there's not a single Palm restaurant you'd go to where you don't feel like family. If you're a regular in one city, that means you're a regular at this one as well. So having a great management team, we're the maitre d's, we're the hosts of the party every day. We love our Palm people. So it's fun to go to another city and try out another Palm. You'll get the same warm reception. It's just a different personality in each city. It's really interesting.
It really is. And I remember my visit to the Las Vegas Palm not all that long ago. And exactly, with all the hustle and bustle of Las Vegas, it's kind of like you found an uncle or an aunt's place to eat at. You do feel you have that family element wherever you go. That's awesome.
It couldn't be said better. You're right. You're right about that. One thing, actually, it's a perfect segue into something that I wanted to bring up today, and it would be relatable to anybody in any industry. This is not a restaurant-specific thing. It's not a Palm-specific thing. But, if we talk about successful living and ways to be successful, I think that it all starts inside the walls of your location, of wherever you are, wherever you work.
And whatever kind of business.
Whatever kind of business. The important thing first, and to not lose sight of this is crucial, is taking care of your team, taking care of the family you work with. In leadership, it is absolutely crucial that the folks that work with you, the people that are on your staff, feel that they are of the utmost importance. You need to know them. You need to meet with them. You need to understand their ups and downs. You need to understand their needs, from anything from scheduling to where they fit best in the operation. And then you need to care about them on a personal level. When all these things fall into place and you see them as people and not employees, but genuine people that have, life in and outside of the operation, then you can trust them to take care of the folks that are your, in my case, restaurant guests or Palm family, and in any other industry, a client or a homeowner or whatever it is that you're taking care of. If they can trust you and you can trust them, then you've got a smooth operation. But it all starts at home.
Exactly, and that same idea is any successful company, no matter how large, the companies that have been written about for their leadership ability, they all talk about the company culture, and the successful companies do have that element in a major way. They put it as a priority, because if you're not taking care of your people aren't taking care of the clients that you serve or the customers, so things degrade from that point on if that's not happening. So as the general manager right here at the Palm Houston, that is a super thing to always have in the forefront, and I bet you learned that a long time ago.
I tried to, and honestly what works is having a great example, and I've had many great examples of leadership in my career and in my home as well. But it's interesting. What we also have to do in saying that is realize that we're not infallible, that we in leadership make mistakes, and that our folks, our people, our staff, they're going to make mistakes as well. So addressing those things and being able to adapt or frankly apologize, recognize if you made a mistake, admitting it, all of these things that are true to human nature and true to any relationship need to be true in the workplace as well. So you can't be successful if you are in a leadership position and are unable to adapt to change, admit mistakes, and address mistakes within your staff. Everybody's watching all the time. Your staff's watching you. Your staff's watching one another. Your staff's watching your reaction to the way things happen. They need to understand things are handled and nothing is swept under rugs. And you need to be aware of all these things. And if you're doing that and grooming and caring as people, not just as employees, but as people, and seeing all these things inside the four walls of your property, of your business and your operation, that is palpable to the public. So your clients, your guests, the folks that are using your service, they'll feel it, they'll know it. And you have to start inside. I think too many people focus on the guest and the numbers or the who's coming inside the door or who's calling on the phone and that sort of thing. But if your focus starts there, something's broken in between, something's broken in the middle, there's not a trust built that you're going to be able to rely on your staff to take care of those people.
And trust is so important. The other thing, from a sports analogy, for example, when we talk about success and we talk about we're not perfect, even Michael Jordan, he's really good at basketball, but sometimes he misses or has missed. So the point is we have to learn from those things. And like you say, in the service business or really any other, you shouldn't sweep things under the rug, address the problem, fix it. And many times when we fix problems, in serving people or even producing products or whatever, many times that's our opportunity to even excel in the customer's eyes and do better and really have that customer for life in many professions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The key to maintaining a successful business and having people that want to come back, and that warmth, that feeling you felt in Las Vegas where you found your home in a city of bright lights and fun, and the feeling that people should have when they walk into the Palm in Houston and any other city. I don't believe that it can be there without that internal trust and development. And I believe the great thing about finding the Palm and having the pleasure of being part of this family is that is the corporate culture and has been for decades. So the culture here is it must be family and you must take care of your people. So that's why, as long as they'll let me, I'll retire with this one company. There's nowhere else I want to be. But folks are going to feel it when you're taking care of everybody on the inside.
No question about it. And the idea of the company culture is so important. As you said, people are watching you and they learn from example. And sometimes when you make a mistake, which you probably do maybe one a week, but when
Sure.
you do, people figure out, hey, look what Leslie did to recover. Look what she did. And those are just good core principles of success, no matter how you look at it.
You absolutely have to. And there's a quote that I love. Maybe somebody out there knows who said it. I wish I did. I haven't looked it up. I don't have time. But the quote is, leadership is not a responsibility to, I'm sorry, let me start over. Leadership is not the ability to do less. It is the responsibility to do more. And it's something that I have on my whiteboard in our office. But the truth is, when you reach a certain point in leadership that, you can relax a little. That's the opposite is true. You have more to do, and you have more on your shoulders, and you absolutely have a responsibility to do even more the higher you go in whatever it is your industry is.
And here's a quote that I'll bring forth too, as we're talking about taking care of our team, however small or large. And we think of a big corporation, it could be thousands. We think of the Palm right here in Houston. I don't know what the numbers are, 50 or more, give or take, whatever it is, taking care of the team. But I don't know if John Maxwell originated this quote, but it's certainly a quote that he has said many times, and that is, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. And without the right team, it could be a nightmare. So that's so important to keep in mind as we work with people, especially people that are our ambassadors or our company's ambassadors.
Absolutely true. It is absolutely true. I had never heard the part two of that quote. That's great.
Yeah, the part two. I mean, you could stop right there. It takes teamwork to make the dream work,
yeah.
But it goes with it's important to say if it's not working,
absolutely.
It could be a nightmare. And that's happened to businesses. We've seen great businesses at the top of their world and their profession, and we've seen them fall.
Right. Absolutely. So, I mean, it's just a good focus for the day, maybe on taking kind of the pulse and seeing where we are in our industry with our staff. Who are you, and what do you do to cultivate a culture of trust, and setting a high bar for responsibility, and how everything else will fall into line.
And it is so important because you and your management team are choosing the right people for your team, and that in itself is an art, and you have the experience for that, but it's still you have to have the talent, the knowledge, and all those things to pick the right people on the team. Sometimes we're wrong when we do. However, if we have the right skill set, most of the time we're going to be on track. And when you look at a prospective person to be on your team, whether it's here at the Palm or anything else, one of the other things when you were describing this earlier is if you're looking at an individual for a certain position, the other thing, and you're looking at what they're looking for to do, as you're the manager, you're going to look and say, you can start here, but you can also grow within our organization. So when we meet people to be on our team, it's important to assess as they perform, but also when we first meet them, what are their aspirations for the future? And that's part of making it all work, or having that right marriage, if you will, company to employee.
A perfect point. It's great that you brought that up. Every time I am gifted with another wonderful manager for my team throughout my career, one of the first conversations we try to have is, what are your goals within the company? And there are people who, my goal is to be, I like being an assistant general manager. I have this role that's my goal to assist in this, and I like having X, Y, and Z responsibilities. Often, though, when people have the goal in my industry of managing the restaurant from a general manager's point, then it is my goal the entire time to be building the bench. So at no point do I withhold anything. You need to involve them in every aspect of your job and train them as if they are another general manager in your restaurant, not fulfilling a role that has a specific title. He's administrative, or he handles beverage. You don't want to do that. You want to expose them to everything and make them marketable. It makes the organization as a whole stronger, which is another point. We need, if you have more than one location in any industry you're in, it's important that the entire place, if you're successful but none of the other locations are in some sort of industry that you're in, that doesn't help. What good is your one location? So we always need to be building a bench. We always need to be thinking, have in our mind the greater good, the bigger benefit for the entire organization.
And thinking about the future, the other thing, as you mentioned, more than one location, as the Palm has many locations, and the management has different levels, let's say, or different areas. So when you're choosing someone for your team, you have the management of the Palm looking at the whole picture, and they may see so-and-so could be, we need them in New York, or we need them somewhere else.
Right.
And that's also fun for certain employees that have the idea like, hey, I may want to work in Houston for a while, but you know what? I like it a little colder, and that might be me. I might want to be in New York City or somewhere else. So that's so fascinating. Also, Leslie, let's tell people some of the things that are, we're at a very exciting time of the year. So many things are ahead, especially here in Houston, Texas. 2019 is very exciting so far. What are some of the things? Let's remind people you have a super happy hour. I heard some people talking about happy hour at some place they liked, and I'm thinking, man, you ought to go to the Palm. They have the tremendous prices, lively environment. So let's tell people you have happy hour, you have a great place for meetings. Even right here in the restaurant, without going to a meeting room, you have large parties that you can serve, 6, 10, or whatever. So let's tell people some of the things.
Absolutely. Actually, this morning, the folks that just walked in the door is a party of 7 who are here from the rodeo, and they're actually the cowboys that have been in the rodeo.
Yeah. Actually, you mean
doing
actually,
the events.
Actually riding horses, wearing
Right.
cowboy. But you know,
from all over the country, from Colorado and some locations in Texas. But
Right.
it's fantastic. So we have groups here, and they like enjoying the main dining room. They do this every year with the Palm. So we always look forward to our rodeo royalty coming in. We do have our private meeting rooms, 1, 2, or 3 rooms, depending on configuration and how many are in the party. And there's no room rental fee. You simply arrange your menus, etc., with Lauren Learman, our amazing sales manager,
She
who's
is
been
amazing.
here many years. Plans a party better than anyone in the city of Houston.
well, let's say her name again.
Lauren Learman, yeah. So she's fantastic. And then of course we do have the lovely happy hour, and we have some fun things coming up too, some fun events and partnerships.
And reminding people about the power lunch. And the other thing, and noticing on your power lunch, you've changed that up a little bit. However, you can never get bored with the menu at the Palm because you keep it exciting. You keep the staples. We can always get a tremendous steak here, a lobster tail, crab cakes. I'm getting hungry once again. However, you are also bringing surprises every now and then to the menu. That's fun. Never boring at the Palm.
Right. We have a seasonal menu that came out for the winter and a new seasonal menu for spring that debuts on March 20th. So we have some new items coming on and some going away. So get your items now that you liked from the current seasonal menu. But we are trying several times a year to change those items, for vegetables and such that are in season. We make everything fresh. We have a special coming up at the end of the month that is exciting that we're working on now, and it has to do with steak. So the way to hear about these things, of course, is joining the 837 Club and being part of receiving emails about these things. Never too many. Just once in a while when we're doing an event, we like to let our folks know, our Palm family know.
And it's so easy to join the 837 Club. Let's tell people, in case they're not a member of the club, what should they do?
Well, you could come into the restaurant and do it when you're eating here. Certainly, your server would be happy to sign you up. It's very simple, or you can do it on our website, www.thepalm.com. And then we have next month a really exciting event as well. We're partnering with the Art Institute's culinary department in Houston, and we're having a cook-off. So there's limited seating, very limited seating for a brunch to watch 4 up-and-coming chefs compete.
And that's going to be right here where we're at?
It is going to be right here. And those students at the Art Institute are going to be inviting friends and family, and then we will be taking the remainder of the seats left and offering those to our 837 Club members or the public. But it's going to be a wonderful brunch on a Sunday in April with 4 cooks competing for a first, second, and third prize, and it's going to be so much fun. So we have a lot of things coming up we're excited about. Love partnering with other people in Houston and being part of the community, especially the culinary community.
What could be more fun? We are talking with Leslie Barkley, the general manager of the Houston Palm, and I'm thinking about the rodeo once again. There's some people, Leslie, that think just because we're in Houston, we all wear cowboy hats and ride horses. I've heard that a lot.
That is true. I've been in the state of Texas for 3 years now, in Houston for 13 and a half months, and I'm still searching for the perfect pair of cowboy boots, and I do not own a hat yet, but I know that I will have those boots at some point
Certainly
soon.
by next year's rodeo.
I
anyway.
sure hope.
Well, let's tell people, one of the other things that I think about every day is a big event at a place like the Palm. Here you are, you're so many meals going out, people coming and going, lunch, happy hour, dinner, all those things. So it's really a big event for anybody. However, every once in a while, Thanksgiving rolls around. We've had Valentine's Day. Let's tell people how you prepare for a bigger event than a normal day at the Palm.
Well, the preparation, my goodness. My dad always quoted Louis Pasteur that chance favors the prepared mind. So we start planning as a team from every aspect of a holiday. Mother's Day would be the next that comes to mind. We start planning at least 6 weeks in advance. We make sure we have all of the right, that we have enough china, glass, silverware, etc., that we have enough to seat the entire restaurant of wine glasses, that we have a plethora of actual supplies. Then we meet, we discuss with our linen company that we have enough of the linen and we have enough of X, Y, and Z. We then discuss the food, and we have special menus available for Mother's Day. So for any event, you start well in advance and you slowly prepare. And when the day comes, I will tell you right now, there's never a smoother day than a holiday. You've planned it for weeks.
Right?
Oh my goodness, yes. From morning till night, you put a lot of work into it at the beginning and over a course of several weeks. But then when the day comes, it's the most smooth operation because of all of the preparation.
And that must bring an extra smile to your face and to the team when a plan is executed well and there's a tremendous satisfaction.
Absolutely. No one should fear a holiday. Everyone should feel most relaxed on the holidays. Sometimes there are those days where you open your doors at night and instead of reservations, everybody's popping in, which we love, but it is a little more, let's say, interesting than a holiday. A holiday is easy once the day gets there, as long as you've prepared enough in advance.
Being prepared is so important. And by the way, that is the motto of the United States Coast Guard. Their motto is Semper Paratus, always ready, be prepared. That is too awesome. We're talking to Leslie Barkley, my good friend here after all this time. It's great. The general manager of the Palm in Houston. My advice is to stay close to what's going on at the Palm. There will be surprises. The menu is never boring. It's always exciting. And Leslie, say with the last minute or so, what else would you like people to know about the Palm? Again, Leslie Barkley, General Manager at the Palm here in Houston. What else would you like people to know?
Honestly, I'd just wrap up kind of covering what we did in our main topic today. We do our very best to treat one another inside the four walls of the Palm like family, genuinely like family. It's part of our culture, and not part of, it's the main part of our culture. And then with that, when folks come in from the outside and walk through the doors, they should feel like family from all of us, from everyone. The person clearing their table, the person that plated their spaghetti and twisted the spaghetti just right, like our wonderful sauté cook Leonardo's been doing for nearly 20 years. We have got to be sure that internally we're making everyone feel like family. And then when folks walk in, that is exactly how they'll feel.
And if you're listening to this broadcast on the radio or on the internet after the fact, make sure you say hello to Leslie Barkley, or she'll say hello first to you. Right, Leslie?
Absolutely.
And here we are on location at the Palm. Leslie Barkley, the general manager here in Houston. Leslie, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill, as always. Appreciate it.
And you've been listening to Successful Living with Bill Napick. And today, Leslie Barkley, I'm getting hungry. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you, Bill.